Welcome back, you guys. So today we have a deep dive into Project Blue Beam, y'all. So this is a very deep, very sticky, and off the wall subject. So do I believe in this? Yes, I do. I believe in a lot of the stuff you're about to see, because I will say this, any time, anywhere, doesn't matter. I believe in my country. I do not believe in my government. So, with that being said, like everything about Project Blue Beam, like deep diving into it, if you go and you research it and everything, it is definitely a vast, theory and a vast conspiracy. And there's other different topics within Project Blue Beam that are projects within Project Blue Beam. So, it's just one of those things. So, but I'm not going to hold you. We're going to go ahead and just jump up in it. I'll see you at 10 minutes, y'all.
Journalist Serge Monast writes that the United Nations, NASA and other government agencies have been working in secret since 1983 on a top-secret operation called Project Blue Beam. The purpose? To pave the way for a global government by fooling people into thinking it's the end of the world. First, the global elites will fake an alien invasion, convincing the world that aliens are planning to take over major cities across the globe. Second, religious populations will be treated to a rapture or fulfillment of their religion's prophecies. This will all be fake, conducted through the use of large-scale holograms and microchips hidden within most modern electronics.
In 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic.
Once the various nations of the world topple under the mass of civil unrest and panic, the New World Order will assert itself, and the people of the world, desperate for any sort of authority, will accept.
Scientists fake an alien threat in order to achieve world peace. Serious proposal, which is that we have to get a bunch of scientists to tell us that we're facing a threatened alien invasion. And in order to be prepared for that alien invasion, we have to do things like build high-speed rail.
Monast. He was a Canadian investigative journalist, essayist, poet, and also a conspiracy theorist. During the 1990s, he started to publicly talk about topics like New World Order and also secret societies. Both of the kids of Serge Monast were homeschooled by him, but in 1996 the authorities came into his house and took away both of his kids, made them wards of the state, and made them go to a public school. I quote that the parents were abusing the kids emotionally by stopping the children going to a state school. I mean, since when homeschooling is emotional abusement towards children? This is more than weird, and in my opinion, this act was to show their power and abilities, like, we can do whatever we want with your family and closest people if you won't shut up, What is more, things get even crazier. After they took away the kids, they took Serge Monast to a jail. So he stayed in a jail for a night, and the next day when he returned back home after the jail, he suddenly dies from a heart attack. Like, he was over his 40s, closer to 50s, and he didn't have any heart diseases. I don't know how about you guys, but I think it's suspicious.
So it looks like we're about to see the start of the next psyop, guys. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by all the reports that you're seeing of alien sightings, UFO sightings, jets being scrambled. This is all another psyop. It's another part of the movie that they're showing us in order to shoehorn us into doing things that we wouldn't normally want to do, so governments can play the savior in this fake alien invasion. But in order for them to do that, there will have to be more restrictions on our freedoms, probably a digital currency and a social credit score as well. They're getting desperate now and they're using all kinds of tactics. Project Bluebeam, go and research it. This has been known for many years from alternative researchers that they're going to do this. So don't be fooled by all the UFO BS that you're going to see in the next few months.
Message! While the mainstream media has only just started taking these events seriously and conditioning the masses, it's no secret that world governments have been taking these events very seriously for years. Whether they are trying to make psychic spies or track unidentified flying objects, governments have a history of trying to hunt down the truth behind the bizarre sightings and events reported each year. In recent days, we've had reports of UFOs all over the world. On February the 2nd, the Chinese balloon was spotted, and on February the 4th, it was shot down. Then, 6 days later, a UFO was shot down over Alaska.
Watch this, bro.
Like what? Black what?
Lunatics. Could we have shot down an extraterrestrial craft?
And the very next day, on February the 11th, a UFO was shot down over Canada. And in recent days, we've had UFOs appear all over China and Uruguay. On February the 12th, a UFO was shot down over Lake Huron. While the mainstream media has only just started taking these events seriously and conditioning the masses, it's no secret that world governments have been taking these events very seriously for years.
At the direction of the President of the United States, fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command successfully took down a high-altitude airborne object off the northern coast of Alaska at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, within U.S. sovereign airspace over U.S. territorial.
Bullshit.
On February 9, North American Aerospace Defense Command detected an object on ground radar and further investigated and identified the object using fighter aircraft. The object was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet and posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight. U.S. Northern Command is beginning recovery operations now. U.S. Northern Command's Alaska Command coordinated the operation with assistance from the Alaska Air National Guard, Federal Aviation Administration, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We have no further details about the object at this time, including any description of its capabilities, purpose, or origin. The object was about the size of a small car, so not similar in size or shape to the high-altitude surveillance balloon that was taken down off the coast of South Carolina on February 4th.
Kind of unusual that these pilots saw different things, and that is sort of, I guess, adding to the mystery of all this.
Yeah, not even the pilots apparently were really able to identify what they saw. And just to take you back for a sec, on Thursday, the U.S. defense officials sent F-35 fighter jets up to try to figure out what this object was that was flying around near Alaska. Those pilots, we have learned, have given very conflicting accounts of what they actually experienced, with some pilots saying that the object interfered with the plane's sensors, other pilots saying that they didn't really experience that, other pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they could identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying.
There's going to be some information I think we're going to get in the next couple of years. If you listen to talk radio, especially to Coast AM, they're all talking about the fact that, you know, we're going to get this information, declassify the information.
But do you think the American public or the world public is ready for something like that? Because it challenges everything they know. If there is life out of there, we're supposed to be the only intelligent life because God created us. Then it brings into question God.
I really think the public will accept this. There's going to be a lot of far religious groups that are going to have problems with this. They're destigmatizing this, is what they're doing. And I found that interesting in that report that was just read.
Yo, I seriously feel like something really big is coming. I know I show you guys all the stuff that's going on and everything else, but I had this really, really weird feeling. Did y'all see her dress at this VMA or whatever it is? Tell me why she has UFOs on the dress, even in her tour. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, why is this such a big thing? Every major event this year has had aliens, UFOs, or grays. We just had the Olympics, and we had all these grays performing behind this mantis, and mantis again was known by the ancient tribes to always show up with grays, and I mean everywhere. And we had the aliens at the Super Bowl. Dorn, it's my video. It's like every single major entertainment source is all showing us UFOs and aliens. Why? What happens when this kind of stuff is usually shown over and over again? Think about it. I wonder, I feel like they're kind of trying to show us, you know, the future. Oh, and I forgot the Miami incident right when the year started. And then right after the eclipse, we had these black shadows flying by the sun. Yeah, so sorry.
Man, so how you liking this this one this time? Like, it's pretty deep, dude. Like I said, like, this is some pretty off the wall crazy stuff that's going on, that's been going on for a long time. So I grew up around my dad always listening to like Alex Jones and a lot of different conspiracy, nuts in the 90s, when conspiracy stuff was like, kind of taboo and kind of hush-hush and stuff behind closed doors, and you gotta give 3 knocks to get in type shit. Now it's like everywhere like crack, so, everybody's, yeah. But back then it was different. So, and that's when I very first heard about Project Blue Beam, was with my dad. Roughly, I want to say I was close to about 16, 17 years old at this point in time. And so, like, I've known about this for a long time, so seeing stuff when it started to pop back up, I want to say around like 2015, 2000, ending of 2015, and then like throughout the 16 and 17, and it got more pull, like each year somebody was talking about it. And so, like, I believe in a lot of this stuff that you're seeing, but I'm not going to keep you anymore.
I believe in part that the movies E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, were not entirely just the creative products of some Hollywood director, that maybe there's more to that. Why don't you explain?
They were carefully guided by representatives from MJ12, who is this organization that is in charge of the cover-up, in order to get us ready for the release of the information that there are indeed aliens. And in both those movies, they used small little creatures and in order to get us ready for this release of information.
To prepare us that the idea of benevolent aliens from outer space are going to help us out.
Unfortunately, they're not so benevolent. So they made probably one of the most disastrous mistakes when E.T. was put out. At that time was before we discovered what I call the double cross or the grand deception. And they were trying to get us used to the benevolent little creatures. And
at the time, skeptics had several issues with this conspiracy theory. First and foremost, the technology required to inundate the world with realistic visions of aliens and messiahs simply didn't exist in the early 1990s. But fast forward to our present age, and all of the futuristic tech that Mr. Monos spoke about has been rolled out by the elites in recent years. There is no doubt that the global elite have the technology to pull off the con.
Yep.
US Air Force planners brainstorming on the best way to achieve a bloodless coup in Iraq proposed creating a giant hologram that would appear to be Allah commanding Iraqis to overthrow Saddam Hussein. This plan was never implemented, but the fact it was even considered at such a high level proves that the technology exists. Microchips, holograms, electromagnetic waves for telepathic communication. It's uncanny how everything Monos wrote about in 1994 has been rolled out by the World Economic Forum in the last couple of years.
Voice of God weapon, a device that projects voices into your head, make you think that God is speaking to you, is the military's equivalent of an urban myth, meaning it's mentioned periodically at defense workshops. Ironically, ladies and gentlemen, this thing actually exists. The voice of God is a weapon that had been developed. According to this article, a government workshop some time ago, I heard someone describe a new tool, the voice of Allah. This was said to be the device that would operate at a distance and would deliver a message that only a single person could hear. The story was that it was tested in conflict situations in Iraq and pointed at insurgent groups who would whip around looking in all directions and began heated conversations with the compatriots who did not hear the message. At the same time, this was greeted with some skepticism. So is this real? Is there any basis for this technology? The Holisonic Research Lab, the American Technological Corporation, both have versions of directed sound, which can allow a single person to hear a message and that others around them do not hear. DARPA appears to be working on its own sonic projector. Intriguingly, Strategy Page reports that troops are using long-range acoustic devices as a modified voice of God.
People believe that something is real, then it is real in its effect.
In social reality.
In terms of the social reality, in terms of what people act according to their beliefs.
Yeah.
And that opens a question of, really at two levels, perhaps something that we are creating ourselves, and perhaps a series of images that we are projecting. I think Carl Jung came very close to expressing that idea in one of his books. Or could it be manipulated purposely by people who have the technology to simulate UFO sightings? And people say, well, of course not. Who would do a thing like that? Well, I would remind you that during the Watergate investigation, it was discovered that there was a plan originated in the White House to surface a submarine off the coast of Cuba and paint the second coming of Christ over the island of Cuba using holograms, and which is well within our technology today. The idea was that since there is a large Catholic population in Cuba, they would be so upset by this vision that this would saturate the communication channels, the telephone system in Cuba, long enough for an invasion to take place.
How interesting. I'd never heard of that.
Well, I think that's a classic in psychological warfare, and that kind of manipulation is well understood. And I have personally investigated several apparently genuine UFO cases where there was, in fact, my conclusion, the conclusion of scientists working with me, was that there was, in fact, a manipulation taking place, and that it was not a hoax on the part of the witnesses, but a hoax on the part of somebody much better organized than them.
So there are possibly all of these levels going on simultaneously.
Today, with the current technology, that would be possible.
Look at that ship, bro.
It's impressive, but it still don't look real.
This is what they show to the public. Imagine what they really have.
Pretty sure this is augmented reality.
Nah, bro, they're looking at it.
He's looking at the screen, mate. See, they don't watch it walk away, they're watching a screen.
You're wrong, bro.
They didn't even turn and look at a rhino walking up.
What you're seeing here is Project Bluebeam, high-level advanced holographic projection. You could say in 4D, you can't touch them, but they seem very lifelike, very real. And this is in a stadium. Everyone's filming it. You can see it right there. I think China, for the new year, had the dragons go around the big tower. I'll try and find that clip at some point. But for those of you who are not aware, this is the type of technology that they're releasing on the public now. Imagine what the military and the government have. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do a hoax or some sort of world hoax to scare us into giving up our freedoms and security. And they'll protect us as long as we release our freedoms and our rights. And they'll have more control and more surveillance over us. So we'll have much more of an Orwellian society. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video, subscribe and I will make more for you.
Wow, look at that. He looks angry.
They're testing it out, bro.
They ain't gonna fool anyone.
In the right setting it could, bro.
This is a full 2.5 minute long video of this strange object falling. You can see it looks like an arm right there. It starts to show weird shapes, weird lighting, and I believe this video is stabilized. I'm still looking into the source of it and who took it, but perhaps we were supposed to see this. Perhaps they are letting us know exactly what is coming next. Are they that brazen about it? Are they willing to risk everything just to try to brag in our faces? We know there is a quadrum of people. They're trying to push things that cause our brains to be subservient. They don't want us to be able to do things on our own. We have to be unified under their flag. They want to have that control. They want a cult rather than our own religious beliefs. It's a scary thing to think about, but this is very real, and I assure you, you need to be watching out.
Fucking hell, that's crazy.
That's pretty real, bro.
It's incredible. Looks like they recopied it.
Yeah, bro. It's not augmented reality. What aliens, bro?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Look at that shit, bro. They got it from multiple angles.
Fucking hell, that's terrifying.
See? They run the fight the weather too. People don't believe it.
That's crazy.
Yo, I've never seen nothing like that.
Everyone can see that, bro.
Yo, I thought I was bugging, but I was standing over there, I'm like, what is that? Why is the sky purple? And it's only here. Look, this one's not that color.
I didn't believe it. I thought these freaking psychics were talking shit. It is September 14th, and we are being invaded. I'm getting messages from everybody that they're coming. Look up. Well, don't look up. I'm not looking up. I'm staying in the freaking house. I'm not going out. And all of you that said he's trapped in his basement, I'm not trapped. I'm forcing myself in here because I don't want to get eaten. And I just came from outside. There ain't shit we can do. There ain't shit we can do. It's a fucking wrap. Get your kids. Go hide. They're fucking here. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know how you're all saying UFOs don't exist, they're not real, aliens aren't real, none of this is fucking real, it's a fucking psyop because the aliens don't exist? Well, the government has passed along a new handbook for all the police in the United States to abide and follow. Look, police across the United States given new UFO handbook as they warn craft pose a significant threat. Really? Really? Now you're deciding that these things are threatening? I can't go any further with this. UFOs are real. Obviously the government is confirming it to the point where they're passing out handbooks on how to fucking deal with them. I'll see myself out.
There were two objects, one called Oumuamua that was discovered by astronomers in 2017, 7 years ago, and it was the size of a football field. It didn't arrive very close to Earth, but it passed near Earth. And most likely, based on the reflection of sunlight from it, it looked as if it's flat, pancake-shaped. And it was also pushed away from the sun by some mysterious force without evaporating, without any cometary tail. It was not a comet of the type that we are familiar with. And it's very mysterious. If there are objects out there, let's figure them out. The US government is reporting about incidents where military personnel see things they don't understand. That could be an embarrassment to the intelligence agencies if these objects are being produced by adversarial nations. But it would be much more significant if they represent an intelligent civilization beyond ours.
The notorious globalist Henry Kissinger let the cat out of the bag about the plan in the late 70s. He wrote, "Today Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told that there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all the peoples of the world will pledge with world leaders to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by their world government." Kissinger wasn't the only insider in the late 70s speaking about how the elite will attempt to hijack humanity and brute force the world government upon them. Werner von Braun, the German and US aerospace engineer who worked on Operation Paperclip, confessed on his deathbed in 1977 that the global elite were planning to use terrorists and pandemics as false flags to manipulate and control the masses. Even more interestingly, von Braun said that the final false flag will be a fake. The World Economic Forum has penetrated governments all over the world, placing its own people in the highest offices in the land, in Canada, New Zealand, France and Brazil, to name just a few countries.
So that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young noble leaders of the world economy.
Yo, so this has been the deep dive into Project Blue Beam. Did you get beamed up? Are you ready for the annihilation from the aliens? Are you ready to see some crazy stuff in your life? Because we're probably going to see some crazy stuff. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you know, we're at some point in time down the line, we're going to see some off-the-wall shit. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? I'm not going to, you know, call you a mushroom, stick you in the dark, and feed you bullshit. It ain't happening, bro. Like, by the time we go to be, you know, like, at least 60, we're gonna see some shit in our lives, man. And it's just starting, y'all. It's just starting. It's just starting to go off the rails, man. So, but hopefully y'all had a great time, you know, in watching all this. And I have another one that I'm gonna hit you with. As soon as I get done with this, I'm going to be jumping back into the cutting floor, and I'm going to be doing the other project that is inside of Blue Beam, which is another secret project that they had going on. So I'm going to bring that to you right after I drop this one. So with that being said, man, I'm not going to hold you up. Hopefully I want to hear from y'all, so comment down there, most definitely. You know, you know the deal, like, share, hype, all that stuff, man. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day, whoever you are, wherever you are. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever stop. I'm gonna get out of here. What is up? What is up? What is up? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day, whoever you are, wherever you are. I always say, stay to the positive, never to the negative. Always remember that. Go up in the day, baby. You play, you only get one life to live. You better live it for today. That's facts. Stay ablaze, stay amazing, stay true, stay you. No matter what you're doing.